Hello and welcome to session 12 of our Twilight 2000 campaign, The Long Way Home. I'm Andy and I'm the GM. Let me introduce you to my players. Let's start with Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm Kowalski.
Chris.
Hi, Chris. I'm playing Dro.
Carl.
Hi, I'm playing Zimbalski.
And lastly, Mike.
Yeah, I am playing Jimmy Mac.
Okay, right.
Or Jerry, excuse me.
That's right. That's right. Just to remind you, during the last session, you relocated after hastily after gathering up various spoils after the big engagement with almost a platoon of Soviet infantry. You moved yourselves.
Almost, he says.
Almost. It wasn't quite. I mean, no.
Close enough.
You've got to be very careful judging the size of military units in by the year 2000, because nothing is of the size that it should be because of manpower losses. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it'll probably count as a platoon. You and I don't know if you've noticed on the backdrop, but I've sort of indicated lost vehicle, lost NPCs, just to sort of indicate the losses that you guys are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
My decisions led to those two men's deaths.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but hey.
Well, and actually it's 3, so you know.
Yeah. Well, Sunday's death wasn't. I was only like sort of in command there, and that was different.
Yeah, there technically was at that point still a commander, but he was also killed in the same battle. But yeah, true. Anyway, and you relocated to what subsequently turned out to probably be some sort of cabin in the woods, probably used by some sort of park service. Judging by some of the paraphernalia you found inside, and you were setting up and rigging that into a temporary base, and you were doing various bits and pieces that sort of you had a night's rest and a few injuries were healed, and then you were doing various tasks the following day. Now, I can't find my notes of what we had done so far. That's very annoying. Right. If I remember correctly, Kowalski was monitoring the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did we resolve that?
I trying to remember. I think we did. I just don't remember what I don't remember if I heard anything of note or not.
I did do the evening shift of trying to fix one of the vehicles up.
No, but we're now the following day.
Yep, just saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember. And then
I don't think we did anything for the following day.
no, I don't. I think we resolved that night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Mac spent some time setting up a really good concealed observation post and setting up. I think it's Mitch, one of the NPCs, has got an M249 saw, and you set that up as in there covering the trail leading into where you are, and so on.
Yeah, I did that before I went to sleep.
Yeah. So let's just say it's the following morning. Apologies if I've cocked up something, but we'll say it's the following morning. Now, what do you want to do? So basically, you've got unless you're extending yourself, you've got 2 work shifts this day, and you were talking about spending the entire day here. I think we had done healing, because I think
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Kowalski and Cymbalski had recovered bits, though you still got some nagging wounds, and Cymbalski still got a bit of stress. Because we figured out in the rules last time that stress comes back at the same rate as wounds, which was surprising. But I thought it all came back with a good night's sleep, but it doesn't. It still recovers at a point per rest period. So,
And if you have a counselor, you can get a bonus on that as well, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't think we have a counselor, though.
nope.
I believe the mechanic for stress is essentially just the same mechanic as damage, in a mental sense, and they're linking the two.
Yeah.
They're linking the two mechanics so that they operate in the same way.
Yep. Yep.
So field surgeon, counselor. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, you've got 2 work periods this day. What do you want to do during this?
Let's see.
Because your plan, unless it's changed, was to stay here for a full day.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Did we get? As I recall, one of our vehicles, the captured vehicle took a little damage. Did that get repaired in the last session?
The truck, because you've now gained, you've got that truck. I need to put these on the home screen. You got that truck, and then the UAZ was shot to pieces, so you just drained fuel from it and abandoned it from memory.
Right.
That's the hostile UAZ. Our UAZ is demonstrating the reliability of these Russian vehicles because it's still at full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what?
I mean, to be perfectly frank, the M998 and the M1114 are both in fairly good condition. They're not bad.
Yep.
The M998's got a reliability of 4, so that could actually do some maintenance.
Well, it's at 4 out of 5, so I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, they're both 4 out of 5. Yeah, no. But if you've got nothing better to do, doing maintenance.
Well, the question is, have I got nothing better to do, or do you want me to have a go at some of the damaged weaponry?
I think that would be a good idea. We do have a fair amount of damaged weaponry.
What do you wish to try and repair? Then?
Whose weapon is damaged? Anyone got anything they need fixed?
I know my AK is, but we have my AKM got bashed on pretty hard, which was a major portion of my stress. But we also have replacements for it. If we wanted to break it down for parts, that'd be fine.
Or do you want me to fix it? Okay.
My M21's taking a hit that last battle.
Yeah, that we can't replace.
I suggest, I'll spend my first shift fixing that, and we've got Sunday's M16 as well. It's at reliability 2, so I might have a go at that. Are the vehicle weapons okay?
As far as I know, yes.
I don't think any of those got bashed up.
Right. No, because I know the 50 cal didn't.
The M60 that you salvaged from the Dodge will have taken some damage and I'm just gonna. It's still on the Dodge, but I'm going to reduce its reliability by 2. It's on a reliability of 3 at the moment.
Okay.
It's still present on the Dodge, though. I'll need to sort of remove the Dodge as a character and.
It might be better to break some of those M16 down to spares. I don't know, but I'll definitely do.
Bury that Dodge with full military honors.
Well, so you got some C4.
Oh, actually, Andrew, what about state of the?
We left that smoking Dodge.
Yeah, I know.
What's the state of the truck? Sorry, I'll possibly ought to pay attention to that.
The truck should be in good shape because I shot the driver. That's how we got the truck to stop in the first place.
The only was it you? No, it wasn't you shot the driver. Was it Carson with the 50 cal?
Oh yeah, it was Carson with the 50.
So,
but as I recall, it also damaged the engine of the truck.
No,
we were able
it didn't. No, it didn't.
It didn't damage the engine. I think it damaged the door, didn't it?
No, it went through because it was shot in the rear. It went through the cargo compartment,
right.
And there's several holes sort of into the back of the cab. The seat of the truck is damaged and is uncomfortable to drive on. I mean, that's more a role-playing thing than a mechanical thing.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any significant damage to anything like the dashboard or the steering wheel or the front windscreen.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Carl, what you're thinking of, Carl, is that the engine that was shot at was of the UAZ that you left behind.
Okay, excuse me.
Just to clarify. Okay, so
we did have like 6 ARs blasting away at it, so it makes sense.
So Dro is going to do some repairs on the M21 sniper rifle. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll try first.
So give me that then,
Well,
please.
If for nothing else, I will take the work session and see what we can't do about cleaning off.
Excuse me. Sorry, Steve.
Gesundheit. I'll take some time to clean off the blood off of the
Okay.
seat of the truck that we.
2 successes. That's good. That fixes 2 reliability on the M21.
It just had one. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So that's now back to full. Okay, so that's Dro done for that shift. Okay. Now, Mike, Mac was standing guard during the night.
Yeah, I'll be sleeping the
So
first
you're
shift.
sleeping this session, this shift. That's
first
fine.
shift, yep.
The first shift. Cymbalski's cleaning up the seat. In the truck.
I mean, if there's any duct tape left, we'll be trying to put a piece of cloth over it, and so nobody gets spiked in the ass with a spring.
Yeah.
Because that's always fun.
Yeah.
But
maybe taking one of the captured Russian blankets and hooking it to the seat.
That could just happen. That doesn't require a dice roll. That's fine. What's Kowalski doing during that shift?
I actually think I'm going to do some hunting.
Okay.
Yep. So I believe there's a whole process to this. Where did I put my books?
I don't know.
Here we go. Let's see.
Hunting. Give me a recon.
Okay.
First roll survival.
Yep.
Modified by terrain type. Right, you are in woods. Sorry, I need my screen. That is, by the way, anytime you're running a free league game, I would thoroughly recommend you buy the screen purely for the pulling together of all the key charts. Right.
Yeah.
You are in forest. So hang on a sec. Modified for train type. It doesn't have a modifier on here for having said that for. So, right. So, no. Modified by terrain type. Which modifier am I using? That's odd. Is it visibility? That's odd. First roll for survival modified by the terrain type. No, that okay. Just increase yourself by 1 step.
Okay. So that's survival. So that'll bump that up to a B. So that is an A and a B. And that looks like 1 success.
Okay.
And then I have to roll a d6 to see what type of game it is.
Right, actually, because that's not quite. Bear with me a sec.
Yep.
Where are we? What you spot is one of these, which is some sort of very large, quite exotic looking, probably some form of sheep. That is right. How much do you know about animals? There's no animal husbandry skill or anything, but what? It's probably
Well, my character grew up in the woods of northern Michigan, so they'd be familiar with
okay. Give me
like the usual oeuvre of woodland animals.
give me a survival check.
Okie doke. Any modifiers?
No.
Okay, straight survival. Here we go. That was completely budged. That was a failed roll, and I don't think I'm gonna push that because I don't.
You don't recognise what kind of breed it is.
It looks like food. That's all I know.
Yep.
Oh, looks like a Scotsman's lost girlfriend.
Wow. Nothing personal there. Ragnar, come back. You never call. You never. You bastard.
All right.
Right. Give me the recon check to move into position.
Okie doke. 2 successes.
Right. Then make a ranged attack.
Okay.
What rifle are you using? Just your M60.
Yeah, I'm just using my M16A2.
So you haven't got a telescopic sight on that. So you've just got a normal
Roll. Yeah.
normal roll with aim and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, ranged combat. Here we go. 2 successes. I do believe I've bagged me a weird sheep thing.
You shoot it, and it drops down stone dead. The sound of the shot reverberates through the trees, and a few birds take off and fly away. But also, you spot other movement as other. It was clearly there were other of these that you didn't see. Bolt in a direction away from you.
Well, good to know that there's more in the area. Well, I will take my fresh kill back to camp to be slaughtered for food.
Right.
Or rather, butchered. It's already been killed.
Can you... Right, you get close to it. It's going to be quite heavy. Can you give me a strength stamina roll?
Yep. I'm going to push that. Success.
Okay, you've just about shifted it on your shoulders. When there's a shot at you.
Shit.
Distinct sound of a rifle firing from somewhere. Give me a recon check.
Okay. Recon. 2 successes.
Right. So you'd come out of you come across a bit of an open through the woods, across a bit of open ground to some other woods, and then probably the other side of the woods. You could just about you as you were approaching, you'd heard the sound of probably some sort of small, maybe large stream, and there's possibly off in that direction, sort of so almost further away from you than camp. Going further away from camp than you are.
Mm-hmm.
So away from camp. Then it's not someone. There's no one between you and camp. They are further away. If that makes sense. Right. In camp, it's just getting to the end of the first shift. Kowalski's been out hunting for a while, and you hear the distinct sound of an M16 firing a single shot because he's not that far away from camp. but then you hear the sound of a second rifle firing. That's definitely not an M16. Right. If anyone wants to roll me intelligence plus, actually, sorry, Mike is still half asleep because he's been
Yeah, I'm
sleep.
still
Yeah,
sleeping.
yeah. But roll me intelligence. If anyone wants to intelligence plus ranged combat, obviously those aren't normally paired up, so you've got to do it on the dice roller.
Okay. Anybody got an IQ higher than B?
No. Each of you can roll individually.
Okay.
I'm also
Alright.
gonna roll for this because I obviously heard the shot
Yep.
that was aimed at me.
Yeah, I will.
Oh,
However,
got a success.
give you a -1 penalty because you
Yeah.
were struggling with the sheep.
Yeah. So that
One
would be
success.
down from an A and a B to 2 Bs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Leandra got one. Okay.
I got a success as well.
It sounds like oh, Andy's forgotten the name of the gun.
Well, does it sound like an AK or something else?
No, it does not. It sounds like an old World War II era Soviet bolt action rifle.
Oh, a Mosin.
That's it. A Mosin.
Yeah,
I'm most in the gun. Yeah.
AKA the trash rod.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it called that? Why is it called a trash?
Because an awful lot of the wartime builds of the Mosin were very roughly finished and very kind of the bolts
typical
have
World War II Russian machining.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean and a lot of fairly important things kind of go wrong with them. The bolts, for example, the spring inside the bolt that springs the firing pin forward likes to break.
Well,
yeah.
There's they use cheap pine. They use cheap pine in the stocks as opposed to oak in the earlier pre-war stocks. Things like that.
Yeah, if you want a good Mosin, you want to get either one of the Finnish-made ones or one of the American-made ones. There are a few American gun factories that actually had licenses to build Mosin guns.
Yeah. Meanwhile, with that one,
especially during Lend-Lease.
Yeah. Anyway,
Be
right.
right back.
Okay. So, he forgot to mute again. Right. Okay. So, you hear that sound. Kowalski, what do you wish to do? You currently have a very, you've got your sort of rifle slung and a very large sheep slung across your shoulders.
How close did the shot come to me? Did I hear or feel the shot go by?
You heard it. It was close, but it wasn't zipping past your ear.
Okay, so might have been a warning shot then, or just missed really badly. Either way, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna immediately drop the sheep.
Yep.
And I'm going to fall forward and kind of roll towards the nearest bush.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna hold position and kind of keep my ears open to hear if the person who took the shot is stupid enough to come and check on where they shot.
Right. We'll come back to that in a sec. Right. So Cymbalski and Dro, you both hear that a lot of people in the camp hear this, and you both recognise it as not a rifle that any of you lot own. And what do you wish to do?
Okay, and this is me being one of the gun nuts in the group. I want to point out that the round for the Mosin Nagant is also the same round that is used in the SBD Soviet sniper rifle.
Exactly.
So, it would not be completely unreasonable for us to lose our crap at this moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm
Patrol.
gonna.
3 of us.
Okay, so we know the general direction.
Yep.
And I can tell you that I'm going to
It's
probably
due west, it's pretty well west, slightly southwest of your camp.
Okay, gonna wake up Carson.
Do you mean Carson or do you mean Mac?
Mac, the our sniper.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he's got to be awake by now.
It's the end of the shift, so I fixed his rifle.
Yep.
All polished up and nice. So I hand it back to him.
Mac, you were having a lovely dream. Lovely dream. You can decide what it was about. Food, wine, women, or song, probably.
Her name was Anna de Armas.
Or any combination thereof.
Yeah, and
An endless field of Soviet targets.
You just had that. God, man, you give somebody a donut one goddamn time, and he keeps coming back.
He's thinking like, God, I wish there was another platoon for me to shoot at.
and then as you're you're in that half awake, and then you sort of was that shot in my dream or in my or was that real? And then Cymbalski's waking you up.
And then everybody in camp is losing their shit. Nope, it's real.
All right, well, I'll throw on my ghillie suit and go get my M21 and head out into the woods.
Right.
Yeah,
Are you
we'll
going as a
find-
3? Is a drone Cymbalski going as well?
Yep. Well, Cymbalski's going.
Is Dro
Yeah,
going?
I'll go. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. And are you going as a 3, or is Mac going on his own and the other 2 going as a pair?
I would since Mac is the better tracker of the 3 of us.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Because I'm assuming that for
Well, tracking now, tracking, I'm not going to be better than you guys. I'm only a D in survival.
well,
So
okay,
survival is tracking, so.
okay. Well, in any event, Kowalski, and for Kowalski to find prey, he would almost have to be off road, at least logically speaking. So yeah, we're basically looking. Okay, so we're all just sort of basically doing recon checks for fresh tracks or fresh
you
breakage.
can either try and find his trail by using recon, or just try and dead reckon it based on where the sound came from. And only Dro and Cymbalski do that, and that would be a survival check.
Let's see.
Okay.
Well, for me, it's 6. If for me it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
I'll push that. Well, that 2 successes.
Oh, yeah. You win.
Right. So Dro starts heading off.
So I dead reckon it,
Yeah,
basically.
you dead reckon it, and then so the 3 of you start heading off into the woods. The rest of the camp's gone into a bit of a sort of all-round defence. People keeping an eye out in case it's a precursor to something else. Machine guns are being manned.
The wagons are being circled.
Well, the wagons, if you remember, the wagons are all rammed into a clearing and are far too close to each other. So
yeah, I'm not particularly happy with that.
Yeah.
Not much we can do.
No, it was impossible to disperse them in the undergrowth.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And you head off into the woods, right? In what you think was dead reckoning for the initial pair of shots you heard. Now, because they both seem to come from the same direction. That's something else, just to be clear for you guys. Okay, flip back to Kowalski.
Yeah.
So, a minute passes of you hunkered down, and there's nothing, no response. Nothing else has happened. You can see the dead sheep lying where you dropped it. There's a bit of blood from it that sort of leaked across the back of your neck. It's running down the side of your neck. But
that feels yummy.
Yep.
And you can see that the fresh kill is, well, actually it's probably still steaming a little through the bullet hole. But a minute's gone by and there's been
Kinda
no
know how
response.
that feels IRL. Well, because I got back when I used to play paintball a lot. This is what convinced me to wear like a shamag around my neck to protect from this. But I got hit in the back of the neck by a paintball, and a piece of the casing actually cut me
Ooh.
because it was pretty close range.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What does Kowalski wish to do, though?
I'm going to kind of, because I have a general idea of where the shot came from, but I also have a pretty good idea that someone else from the camp will probably be heading out this way to check it out. So I'm actually going to hold position for now.
Mm-hmm.
Still keep my eyes out and my ears sharp, but I'm going to hold position and see what backup arrives.
Okay.
So that way we don't have a bunch of people blindly running around looking for a gunman without coordinating.
Can you?
Are you going to try and use your are you going to try and use your Amerykański, meaning your American accented Polish?
Well, notably, when you pick up the linguist, granted, I don't know if we're using the modified language stuff.
No, we're still sticking with the basic rules.
Okay, so if you have the linguist thing, you actually, it expressly states you can speak it as if you were a native. So
Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna. Yeah. You know what? I'll. On the off chance that it's not a Soviet sniper, I will call out in Polish. Don't shoot. I mean you no harm.
Right. Are you staying hunkered down behind your tree?
Yes.
Can you first of all, can you roll me a hiding is recon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Give me a recon check.
2 successes.
Okay. And then can you also please give me a persuasion check?
Yep.
I know it's called manipulation on the character sheet, but that's never been
That's
created.
because it's the alpha.
Yeah.
Like they still kept that from the.
Yeah.
I have 1 success.
Okay. So you yell out that you mean no harm, and probably 10 seconds later, definite delay, there's another shot that it definitely doesn't come anywhere near you. And it's in the vague vicinity of you and the sheep, but it's not hitting you or the tree or the big tree hunkered down behind, or anything like that.
Sound is notoriously hard to localize in the woods.
You right, the three of you approaching. So after you've grabbed your gear, you've started moving into the woods, and it's probably been a couple of minutes since the initial shots, and you hear this another shot. And Dro, you've definitely got the right direction. You definitely dead reckoned it, and you're going in the right direction.
Yeah. When I was back on the streets in the city, I used to go in the opposite direction rather than towards it, but principle's the same.
Just to check, what weaponry are Dro and Cymbalski carrying?
Standard loadout for
Okay.
my M4.
So you've got the M4, and
I'm going to stick with it. Basically, assume I'm using my M4 until I start running out of ammunition for
it.
And I'm carrying the PK.
The PK machine gun, the RPK.
The RPK.
The RPK. Sorry, yeah.
Yep. And at this point, then we'll probably try and spread out and start going from tree to tree. I would think.
Right.
Yeah, sort of bounding movement.
So,
Well, we've had this 3-year education in fieldcraft. We might as well make use of it.
Exactly.
so
I've got to tidy up all the windows I've got open now so I can see the map.
Oh no, not the curve of doom again. No, it's not. It's a different map, but
Yeah.
right. So
Any minute now, a bunch of patrol boats filled with Russians will go along the stream.
So, Kowalski, you are right. Let me zoom this in a bit. So, Kowalski, you've hunkered down behind this tree. I'm picking where Kowalski is.
All right, hold on. I gotta zoom out more so I can see the ping. Just a second.
Nope. Back.
Can you ping again?
Am I on the wrong layer? Hang on a sec. I'm on the wrong layer. That's why you can't see my ping.
Ah, that would. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The shots came from the woods, sort of to your west-southwest somewhere.
So over here this way.
Why is Kowalski now appearing to be on there twice?
Oh, I put him on there. My bad.
Okay.
I can remove him.
Yep.
Where is the key? There it is. All right. I removed the token I put down.
Okay. Right. And then
I don't see my token though.
I
so
can't
did
see
you
any
also
now.
put that on the GM layer?
What layer have I put that on?
I don't see his or mine.
No, I've not. I've only put
Okay, great.
right layer. Can you see Kowalski now?
There,
Yep.
there's
I see.
Kowalski.
Yep.
Right. Apologies. I put you on the GM layer.
Yes, how?
It's all good.
Right. The other three of you. Where are we? Can you see Leandro there?
I see Kowalski, but I don't see
I
Leandro.
can't see me.
So, sort of top right, rightish corner.
Top
what layer?
right.
Oh, I'm doing. Why am I on the GM?
Oh, there
layer?
he is. There
I'm
he
on
is.
the I'm on the GM layer.
I can't see me.
Sorry.
You're
I see.
way
I
up
see
in
him
the-
now.
Yeah,
I can
you're way
now.
up in the. You're way up in the. Yeah, there we go. That's.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
let's
was-
zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, I was on the wrong layer. That was my fault. Apologies. Right. So you guys are in this area. Can you three find yourself there? Yeah.
I found myself. Yeah.
And
I found me.
And it's standard 2-meter grids. Yeah.
And you're saying the shots are coming from this grouping of trees to the west of us.
But we presumably we can't see that yet.
You would say a bit more southwest.
So like where
So
I'm
the-
pinging around here.
Something in this right. Kowalski knows that there's something in this woods here.
Okay.
Not to be argumentative, but I thought you said when the shot was on the other side of the camp.
Yeah,
It was
camp
farther than the camp.
Yeah,
Is what you had said initially.
The camp is
It is northeast, right?
northeast.
So it wouldn't be farther than the camp then, right?
I'm confused.
I guess I misunderstood what you were saying. I was thinking you were saying it was coming from farther than the camp.
The camp is way up to the northeast. We've been heading southwest.
Sorry. What I meant was I apologies for the confusion. I did sort of almost confuse myself as I was trying to explain that. What I meant was that the direction of the shot in relation to Kowalski was further away from the camp.
Gotcha. Okay.
So from
Yeah.
No. Apologies to you, Mike, because I explained that really badly. I confused myself as well. So what I meant was from Kowalski's position here, the camp was northeast and the shot was southwest.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And what's this brown line? Is that a trail?
That's some kind of trail. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's a trail, not a contour line.
And yep, that's a trail. And then these bits are slightly raised up.
Gotcha.
There's certainly enough to give you cover, crouch behind, and you could probably on some of the biggest ones, like this one and this one, you could certainly stand behind.
And the brown things are bushes or dirt mounds?
Do you mean this here?
Yeah.
They're bushes.
Gotcha.
The sheep was pretty well by Kowalski's position, just for Kowalski's benefit, and you've then just dived a couple of trees away. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Somebody said they hoped that other gunfight would be the last one we got into before we got the crack up. Something for that idea.
And then the smartass had to jinx it.
Yep, you did.
And also, I'm assuming the woods keep going in that southeast direction that we're in off the map as well, in that same general direction.
They do, yeah.
Okay.
What you've got is a trail running through an open area, so that it becomes lighter, like this. Sort of, you've got these scattered trees here. It becomes lighter, but yes, essentially the trees do continue. The woods do continue to the southwest. Sorry, southeast. Okay. I'm not going to go to full initiative yet because there's not actually full-on combat taking place. But I'll just flip back to Kowalski. So you yell.
So I think we're basically continuing to move in that direction. Keeping our eyes, keeping careful watch out, covering each other, and we'll keep doing that until we see or hear something that makes us want to stop.
Well, you're
either Kowalski or somebody else shooting or moving or something.
You're under 200 meters apart now, you guys.
With the trees around and stuff like that, that's still we wouldn't know that.
But
we still don't have a Mark 1 eyeball on Kowalski yet. So
no.
Yeah.
Just to say though, look at as you can see that there's not in the trees that are around. There's not much undergrowth.
Right.
So
this is a managed forest rather than
it was once a managed forest, and there is some undergrowth, but there's also appears to be wildlife that's eating some of it. So
sure.
Yep. Okay. Right. So Kowalski, you yelled. A few seconds later, there was a shot in your vague direction, and then silence has descended again. Another 30-odd seconds have passed. What do you wish to do?
Well, it's very clear to me now that whoever is shooting at me has no interest in talking. So I'm going to try and get a better fix on where they're firing from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of I'm going to take my helmet off. I'm going to put it on the end of like a stick or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to peek that out and kind of also slightly peek just enough. Well, actually, no, because I have a bayonet on me. I'm going to use my bayonet blade to kind of work as like a mirror to try and see if they take a shot at the helmet, hopefully see where they're firing from.
And your bayonet is that well polished?
Yes, I always keep my bayonet well polished.
Okay.
I also haven't had to use it yet, so...
Yeah, mine's still factory new.
Okay. Give me a recon check at -2.
Okay. Recon at -2, so that's good. 2 C's. Let's roll this. I'm going to push that. 2 successes.
Right. You 2 successes. Okay. Right. You you spot someone moving. 2 successes. Probably a teenage boy, older teenage boy, carrying a rifle, and he's sort of moving in this sort of area around here, but he's not looking at you at all. He's he moves south a bit, pauses, like he's probably communicating with someone else or receiving some instructions, and then he turns and heads back further north. At which point, because you're hunkered down, the bushes and stuff start to actually he gets to get a stealth check.
Okay.
You see him go to the ground. Actually, I'm going to put him on the map. He is actually he goes to ground here.
You're on the GM layer.
Yeah,
again.
I'm just revealing him.
Yep.
You got him?
There.
Yep, there's a little black dot.
Yep. I
Yep.
see him. Yep.
He goes down, hunkered down behind a tree, and he sort of brings his rifle up to his shoulder and is pointing around. He doesn't appear to have seen you or the helmet, but he's sort of covering over that way. But what you observed before he did that, he clearly moved a bit. He's probably receiving instructions in a conversation, a quick, hurried conversation, and then turn around and move back to where you see him go to ground. Okay. Well, you're processing that. The other three of you, are you moving forward, sticking as a group? Are you starting to split up? What do you wish to do?
I'm going to actually go farther southeast from them. I'm actually going to go off the map a bit so that I can come in at an angle that I'm coming with this hill down here in the bottom right corner to give me cover from the trees that are over here on this side. And I'm going to low crawl from the trees to the right, off the screen to the right a little bit to over here to this clump here.
So that's probably, it's 220 meters dead. So that's probably going to be 400 meters when you arc it round. Does that sound about right?
I was probably thinking a little bit. It ended up probably being a little farther than that, but yeah, that's fine for me.
Let's say 500.
500.
It's 500.
Yeah,
okay.
500 works.
Yeah. Okay. So you move. So let's move.
And I'm gonna move quickly because I'm deep in the woods with my ghillie suit on, so I'm not worried about concealment at the moment.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna move at a not full run, but a jog.
Okay. Give me just rather than a series of mobility checks, just give me a mobility check for sort of the pace you're making. Okay.
2 success.
Yeah, you're making good. I'm just going to move you off to the side of the map to reflect, and we'll move you down and so on. Right. Okay.
Yep,
So I'm assuming you say something to the other two before you disappear off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say flanking south.
Okay. Cymbalski and Dro, what are you two going to do?
Proceed along. I think I'm going to assume we're sticking together. I'm going to stay within sort of visual support distance of Cymbalski and keep moving forward.
It's a standard 2 meter square grid. So, where have you gone?
Someone with more experience than me in real life can tell me what that spacing would be that you typically use.
Yeah, the idea is so that nobody could hit both of us. I would suggest that, and you know this because we both have, as I said, we both have been given a crash course.
Yep.
In infantry these last few years. I would suggest you head here and I head there. That way we can't be taken out in the same machine gun burst.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'll move you to. Well, no, put yourself back because just in case anything happens in the meantime. So put Dro back as well. We'll come to that in a sec. So while right, that's obviously going to take some time. So Kowalski, what do you do after you've seen that kid moving around? Teenage boy, probably a 16, 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, it's Poland. It's the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an undernourished 17, 18-year-old.
I'm gonna try talking again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll shout out again in Polish. Listen, I was only here to gather food. If the animal I shot belonged to you and yours, we can arrange a trade or something for it. But again, I do not wish to fight you.
Give me another persuasion check, please.
Alrighty. One success again.
Okay. Right. You see. Give me a recon check as well.
Okay. Any penalties?
No, because you can see the boy.
Alrighty. One success.
You see him turn and look towards sort of probably his southeast. He's looking sort of this sort of direction. Yeah, and he stops covering in any direction and is clearly looking for instructions. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Dro and Cymbalski, you can move yourself to the positions you wanted to move to now. That there's some time takes by. Mac's probably got he's probably covered half the distance at a run now. So you've probably moved half the distance, but you were talking about crawling the rest, so that will take some time.
Ignore that ping. I accidentally pinged the board.
Okay.
I'm gonna signal to Dro to head for.
Oh, sorry. One last thing. Apologies. Cymbalski and Dro, you were moving forward at sort of because you crossed some open ground. Were you sprinting that, or were you moving slowly, or what were you doing?
I was moving at a trot, fast enough that I can start sprinting at the drop of a hat, or drop to the prone.
And I would imagine that as he was crossing, I was kneeling down in the shelter of some undergrowth / tree until he was across, and then as soon as he was in position, I started moving.
Okay.
Right.
So,
yeah. We're moving in Overwatch.
Okay. Can both of you give me recon checks at -1? And if you've got anything to do with observation or anything like that, then obviously that can add in.
Okay, let me take a look. Nope. So, all right, subtract 1. Recon is.
There you go.
And
That'll be a success.
oh, I completely blew it.
Right. You hear someone. You think it's Dro hears someone. He thinks it's Kowalski yelling in Polish. You don't understand a word of what he's saying, but he's yelling in Polish.
Okay, right.
Okay. Let's flip back to Kowalski. Anything further you want to do?
I mean,
Give me 1 minute.
Yep. Mute yourself, please, Chris.
Will do.
I think I'm just gonna at this point, because the kid looks unsure, and I know that he's looking to someone else who is deeper in the woods who I can't see, and I know that backup is probably coming, so I'm going to just hunker down and stay quiet. He doesn't have a good fix on my location yet.
Okay. Give me actually a recon check.
Yeah.
Have you got anything that adds to recon for observation? Okay.
Well, actually, do I have a pair of binoculars?
No. This is more audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I don't have anything for that then. No. it's just a base roll then,
Yeah.
or is there going to be any modifiers?
I would say -2.
Okay. Yeah, that puts me at 2 Cs. 2 successes. I'm rolling.
You're aware of the sound of
Nice.
movement behind you, as in a distance behind you.
Mhm.
And glancing round, let's just have a little look at this. That's going to be blocking LOS. You can't see anyone. You can hear the sound of you've got 2 sisters. At least 2 people moving, approaching from your rear, your northeast, which is the direction of the camp.
Mhm.
So you're just going to hunker down and stay.
Yeah, because I'm not sure who might be creeping up behind me for now. So I'll just.
They definitely weren't creeping. They were, what you heard was noise of people moving.
but
Yeah.
I don't know who's moving up on me. So I'm gonna hang tight for now.
Okay. Right. Okay. Mac, based on what you've described, you're sort of partway through crawling and got to about there. Okay, you're crawling into the lee of this outcrop, yeah?
Yeah, I'm using that for cover.
Yep. Okay. You can see over here this.
Well, actually, sorry, that's the wrong one. I guess you misunderstood what I was saying. One down
Okay.
farther south, down here.
In that case, you're sort of. I'm going to put you there. You're crawling.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're crawling across the open ground, getting. Actually, no, you wouldn't. Sorry, you wouldn't be actually that. You'd be arcing around. So you'd be crawling in there. Yeah, you're still approaching.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Just from your position though, Mac, you're starting to get a view of this river, and Kowalski, I should have said this to you as well. I mean, if you look at on a 2 meter grid, it's a sort of couple of meter wide. It's a large stream. It's a couple of meters wide. It's probably wadable, but you're gonna get wet doing it. Probably.
Right.
Right.
So more than likely to branch off of a larger river.
Yeah. So Cymbalski and Dro, what do you? You've heard a bit of yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Dro heard a bit of yelling. Cymbalski didn't hear it. And then you've got your positions. Both of you are now there. Do you want to move again?
I do. Dro?
You're muted, Chris.
So I keep forgetting that the mute button I've got here work on this with Discord for some reason, which is annoying. I use it all the time at work.
Yeah.
Right, yes, I proceed. I will make the hand signal if I heard something, if he's looking at me. Cymbalski's looking at me, otherwise I'll continue as we were.
So you're going to cover while Cymbalski moves.
Yes.
I'm gonna point to myself and this rock here. I'm gonna point at Dro and indicate the edge of the woods down here.
Okay.
Whether he gets that or not, but in any event, I am gonna move up here at a trot.
Okay.
And once I have cover, and once Dro moves, I will have something to say.
Okay.
Right.
Then I'm going to move to there.
Okay. So
Now,
Kowalski,
you'll have to get prone, by the way.
I would
Dro.
that would be a very good idea. Yes.
So Kowalski.
Yes.
First of all, you hear the sound of someone moving at fair trot, probably approaching this big mound here, and then you see Dro I mean, presumably trotting a bit and then going prone as he gets close. You've been glancing that direction, so you
That's
just
about
see
60
him.
meters, so you could definitely see my spectre.
Yeah,
I might be able
yeah.
to see him as well.
I was going to
Depending.
say, can you give me a recon check, please?
Yes.
That's sorry, Dro. Give me a recon check.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kowalski, yes, you see Dro approach.
I'll push that.
Okay.
Bust. No, I don't see anything.
No.
Even though I can see Dro, I'm gonna follow protocol and I'm gonna shout the challenge grid.
And I'm going to
I have
guess.
no idea what the.
It's in the Operation Wolverine orders. For U.S. units, the challenge is grid and the response is iron.
Okay, well, if I know that, then I'll shout back.
Well, I know. I think I
Otherwise, I'll shout back.
I mean,
What are you
that was
talking about?
no.
back in session.
No.
What you going on about?
I think Dro, can you
Yes.
give us?
Actually, in all fairness, that's what I would have assumed the response was without having read that myself. Football.
Yeah.
I would have gone with square, like on a map, a grid square on a map.
Right. Well, I like the fact that Chris can't remember it. So,
Well, I mean,
Chris,
it was way
Chris,
back in
Chris.
session
It was
one.
quite a long time ago.
yes, yeah.
okay.
But let's give me an intelligence survival check.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, you do remember that. You do remember. It takes you a few seconds, but you realise
Yeah,
what
I'm
that
getting a
why it
little
was.
tense.
So, oh yes, that's the challenge that we were yelled at.
Okay, in that case, I'll shout the appropriate response. Reference. I mean, iron.
Okay.
That you, Dro?
It is.
Anyone else with you?
Cymbalski, off to my right, and Mac. I don't know where he is. South.
All right. So far, we've got one shooter, teenage kid, packing, I think, probably a hunting rifle or something.
There's a crack as a round is fired. It's right to give you the level of knowledge. It's fired somewhere at this wood. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it might pass relatively close but high to Dro. It's passing to the south of Kowalski, and yes, but someone has fired a bullet into the woods, and Kowalski turning and glancing, you see the boy working the action of his rifle, his bolt action rifle.
I'm gonna shout at the kid in Polish, "Stop shooting, for God's sake! We don't want to fight you."
Give me another. Actually, no. Hang on a sec. This time, give me a command check.
All right. My command is significantly better than my persuasion. Ooh, 3 successes.
God.
Yeah,
Jesus.
pull out, like,
Hey,
the
dude,
voice.
take my advice. Buy a lotto ticket, why don't you?
Yeah.
So the kid.
It's at $1 billion right now, by the way.
Yeah, the Powerball's at $1 billion, which I think is what, 50 pounds sterling now. So
Yeah. Just bear in mind that Chris and I are actually ineligible to enter it because we're not US citizens.
So it's
not
probably,
US residents. Sorry, not US.
What's
residents.
worse than that is it's probably about worth 100,000 rubles.
I'm fairly certain the ruble has kind of tanked right now.
Yeah.
No, it's
the
recovered.
rubles at a record low.
It's recovered to what it was.
Oh.
I thought, yeah, it recovered. They reckon.
I mean, the last time I saw a ruble, it was a briefing. It was a briefing on Soviet culture in like 1984. So I don't even know what they look like now.
Right.
Probably very similar. Anyway, right. Okay.
You just replace Putin with Stalin, you're good to go.
Kowalski, you see the young lad, sort of lower his rifle. I mean, you're quite a distance, but you would say you can read embarrassment on his face. And he ducks down into cover. You can still see the end of his rifle sticking out. He's not moved. He's just sort of hunkered down further.
Okay, it is 60 meters to Kowalski plus where I can't see the kid, so I'm not really looking for him. But it is 60 meters to Kowalski. And I hear Kowalski yell, "For Christ's sakes, we're not trying to kill you."
Yep.
I'm gonna shout out, and again, I sound like a native because I'm gonna shout out, "Armia Polska," Polish army.
Okay.
And Polish army, we're not bandits.
Right. Give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay. I might even have actually put points in that. Who knows?
I seem to remember you had decent of this.
Let me see. It's manipulation on this sheet? That's right.
Yes, manipulation of the sheet. Yeah. But sorry, because it's
okay. So it is just hitting the manipulation button, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As opposed to one success. And let's see. No, I don't have a talent that will help.
Okay.
I'm not negotiating a price.
No, you're not. Right. Mac, you finish your crawl and get to this point here. Now,
I want to scope from here and see if I see anything over this direction.
could you just first of all give me a recon check? Anything to do with hearing, please add it.
Unless, well, I might have scout.
Yeah, you can add your scouting, yeah.
Okay. Make it a double A.
Yep, lovely.
3 successes.
Right, so you aren't aware of what's being said, but you've heard both Cymbalski and Kowalski yelling. Okay?
Yep. So I know they're up here.
Glancing, you can see Cymbalski.
Okay.
You can see Dro, and you're pretty certain of Kowalski. You couldn't pick Kowalski out exactly, but you're pretty certain he's on the far side of this copse of trees.
Okay. Well, I just want to.
Since we're yelling in Polish, you wouldn't understand anything yet either.
I've been taking lessons. If you forgot.
You have been taking lessons. We just had our first one, and the only thing I have to help you with it is a no hunting sign, state park.
Right,
and brochures. We have brochures too.
Yeah.
I want to scope over this direction now, these two sets of woods, and see if I can spot anything.
Right. Give me another recon check with anything to do with visual, which I can't remember.
Scout actually helps me to spot others and avoid ambushes too. So
yeah, so I think you're on double A again.
Yep.
There's the rifle platoon with 3 RPGs.
Two successes.
Right. You spot a second. You spot the kid. Yeah. Classic lack of training. He keeps fidgeting and moving, and gives himself away. But then there's clearly someone else who's much more practiced at working in a woodland environment, staying very still. But you do pick him out. There's a guy. I'm going to ping him.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, the other three of you aren't aware of that. He's got a. He also has some sort of bolt action rifle. Another
Okay.
Mogs Nagman.
Now, what I'm looking for here is just, do I think that this copse of woods, if I move down here, can I run to this copse of woods here without them being able to spot me? Or is it not thick enough?
It's a risk because of the thickness. You're certain you can't see anyone in it, but there is a risk. But this guy here is definitely focused on this lot here, and you see that he's gradually moving his head. He's clearly scanning, trying to spot people.
Shoot, I didn't mean to do that.
That's right.
If you can delete it, I can't. For some reason, I can't delete it.
Select. Oh, it's not letting me. How's that?
Trying to measure. I hit the wrong one.
Happens to me too.
We can leave it if it doesn't bother you. I don't care.
That's really odd. Why is that not?
I'm gonna try and if I don't know if you can. Do you get? You can see my measure arrow,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, now it's.
I'm gonna run down this way and make a mobility check to get to the river this turn.
Yeah. I mean, we're not in combat turns yet, so just give me a mobility check. Do you want to push that?
Yeah, I will put. Sorry, my mouse is not cooperating. And 2 success.
Okay.
Smooth.
So you move very quickly down here, and are you just fording the river, or
If I can jump it, I'll try to jump it.
with
Or
that
jump as far as I can, anyway.
Yeah, with that you jump it. Yeah,
By like splashing it a couple of feet before it's over or something.
Yeah. You basically don't get more than your boots wet.
Yeah, that's fine. And then next turn, I'm gonna I'll move fast again into the woods.
Okay.
But I'll go prone when I hit though.
Right. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Eventually, a Polish voice, definitely not a kid, definitely an adult, definitely someone older, quite a gruff voice, yells out, "You killed our sheep."
Oh, okay. No, yeah, actually, you're probably better for this. You have better persuasion than I do.
Okay. I'm gonna say.
So actually, to be fair, Cymbalski's quite a distance away.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'm about to fix that.
All right.
I'm about to fix that, by the way.
So are you right? So for the present moment, I'm going to say actually, Cymbalski, give me a recon check. See if you hear it.
Okay. Yes, I do. One success.
Okay. Do you want to reply or do you want to get closer? You're going to be absolutely bellowing. It's sort of. I mean, you are.
Okay.
You're about.
I'm gonna bellow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bellow. Okay. And yeah, I realize I'm a good 100 yards away at least. And I'm gonna bellow. I'm coming out into the open. Okay.
Okay.
Now.
Right.
All right, and I'm going to move.
I'm gonna while he's doing this, I'm actually gonna kind of slightly lean out so I can point my gun downrange and kind of.
I'm going to swear, and I'm going to move forward
yeah.
to there as well, so that I can bring myself to bear in case.
Okay.
I'm gonna overwatch where I heard the older voice from. I don't know the general location, but I'm hoping I can pick up a muzzle flash if he decides to shoot at Cymbalski.
Okay. Kowalski, give me a recon check. Drove.
Okay.
Cymbalski, you can come further forward if you wish, or if that's close enough. If you want to leave him at range, that's fine.
Okay, now I want to be clear about this. I am going to hold my RPK by the barrel over my shoulder so it's not ready to fire.
Yep.
I'm still armed, and if I have to go prone, it'll be there really quickly. But I'm gonna, okay.
Okay. But
And I'm
you're
going
only
to
moving
move.
that far. You're moving further forward.
I'm moving there.
Okay. Dro, you can move yourself forward to where you want to go, and Mac, you can move yourself to the edge of those woods.
All right, I got a 2.
Up to
I got
about
2
here, so I can
successes.
see clearly, I hope.
Right. Dro can give me a recon check as well, but you can give me a recon check, please, at -2.
Me,
Yeah,
-2.
Dro -2 recon check. Mac, you've already picked out the guy, so I'll come to Mac in a sec. Kowalski, with those two,
Pushing.
you've now picked out. You've now. I'm going to put this guy on the map because Kowalski has also seen him.
Okay.
So he is there. So just to be clear, both Mac and Kowalski can now see this guy. He's not in a ghillie suit or anything, but he's dressed in sort of appropriate coloured clothing. He's not on full on camouflage, but he's dressed appropriately for the terrain.
But he's got a dark colored jacket and dark colored pants.
Like
and,
like dark greens and browns, basically.
And he's staying very still, as well as one of the main things. Right, what did Dro can't see him.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Right. Right. So Cymbalski has walked out. Right. So Kowalski's covering that area. Dro, you're just sort of covering the woods in general, are you? Chris, is Dro covering the woods in general?
Yes, I am. Sorry. You're
Yep.
talking to me. Sorry. Yes.
And yeah, you've not spotted anyone.
No,
and then Mac, what's Mac doing?
I'm going to continue into the woods until I have good line of sight to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to not go fast now. I'm going to go slow. So.
Okay, so you move to about there, and at that point, you're starting to get to a position where the trees are getting, even though there's quite a density of trees, as I showed you on the picture, the undergrowth is quite minimal. So particularly when you're crouched in a kneeling or prone position, you can see him fairly well. Okay.
Yep, I'll start sighting in on him.
Okay. Should it come to it, you've got a full sniper shot on him.
Yep.
Okay. Cymbalski, right.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
now?
by all means. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. We thought your sheep was okay. I'm going to yell. We thought your sheep was wild. We're willing to pay you for him. We're not thieves.
We don't have much. All we have is that and a couple more sheep. What are you offering?
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to come up to the stream now so we don't have to scream at each other.
Okay.
Gonna walk right up there. And then I'm gonna do the stupid thing I was thinking about doing, which is pop the bipod and put the RPK down on the ground.
Okay.
So now my hands are open, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We can give you let me see. or trade. We can give you some weapons and ammunition if you need it. We have boots we can trade you. We have we have boots we can trade you, some clothing we can trade you. We could use the food, but if you absolutely have to have it, then we'll just pay you for the ammunition you fired and walk away.
I think we actually have some 7.62 by 5.4.
Yeah, we do.
We could literally
we do.
just
We
we
could
could
actually
literally
just give
just
them back.
replenish. We
Yeah,
could
we
just
can-
give
we-
them.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
honestly,
we
we've got
back,
we
yeah.
can pull
we've got-
pull 10 rounds of 5.4 off of the short belt of 40 and just hand it to them.
Yeah.
and yeah, but for the sheep, then if you want to give them something,
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely willing to trade him an SKS or something like that.
Yeah.
For the bother of accidentally killing his sheep.
Or one of the spare tents that we picked up from that one.
Yeah, we have we have things to trade. We're willing to talk.
What gun? Sorry, actually, sorry. What firearm?
Okay.
And how much ammo? What firearms and how much ammo? And boots we're interested in. What else can you offer?
we've got so much crap. Honestly, you can offer him. I mean, take a look at that spoils of war list. We've got a lot of stuff.
Well,
We don't need.
it's like this, okay? As far as the goddamn sheep goes, a rifle, a clip, and 2 pair of boots is effing plenty.
Well, you
Okay.
depending upon
Mhm.
the valuing of food.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So so I guess the question is, all right. First off, do I need to make a manipulation roll or anything here?
You're going to make a manipulation roll, including your negotiation bonus in a minute. But
Okay.
I just want to get clear on what you're offering, because that'll affect the target number.
I will let me see then. I will give you an SKS, 20 rounds of ammunition, and a pair of boots that fit one of you.
Just to point out, we've got a civilian version SKS squirreled away as well. If you want to give them that.
Well, I mean,
Well, we got SKSs. Yeah.
Doesn't
We got-
matter. An SK is an SK.
Raincoats, woolen sweaters, Soviet greatcoats,
Let me see.
blankets, a couple of tents. I don't know.
Right, but I'm not willing to give away the farm for actually.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just saying what just listing out some of the things you might be interested in that we got.
Well,
Well, to put in perspective, the value is going to be: was that a male goat? Was it the only male goat that he had, or sheep? Or was it a female sheep and the only female sheep he had? I mean, that's going to determine the value. Those, in my opinion.
Right, and absolutely, if it's the only ewe and it was of lamb bearing age, yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. But my point is, I think that giving them a new rifle and they fired 2 rounds. So we're giving them a rifle 3. So we're giving them a rifle 8 times the rounds they fired to replace what they used, and a pair of decent boots. I think that's a pretty fair frickin' price. Now, of course, if they want to try and negotiate, let's do that.
Right. So your rifle.
This by the way presumes we get to keep the meat. If we're just saying I'm sorry, I'll just pay you back your ammo.
Agreed.
No. He's clearly talking about you taking the sheep.
Yeah. Okay. So we are actually in let's make a deal mode.
Yeah. A rifle, 20 rounds, and 1 pair of boots. That's not enough. The food's more important to us.
Okay. How about a pair of boots for each of you?
and 40 rounds for the rifle.
Okay, now I'm going to make my manipulation roll.
Yeah, now you
because
can make a
I'm go-
negotiation roll.
Yeah,
If he-
yeah, because now I'm going to try and talk him into 30. Hey,
Sorry,
there
and
is no.
he makes a manipulation.
I hope he can. I hope he can beat Double A. Now watch. There you go.
2
So
successes.
two successes.
Right.
I'll give you 30.
Right. So you end up giving him. You end up on 2 pairs of boots, the rifle, and 25 rounds.
Okay, fair enough.
So how's
now,
it?
so I tell you what. Then you stay here. You stay here. I will return to our vehicles. You stay here. One of my people will stay here. I'll return to our vehicles and get what we have traded for, and I will be back in probably an hour.
Yep. He I don't know the sizes of Polish boots, but he yells out to sort of
Let's just go with European and run with that.
he yells at 2 sizes,
Okay,
which are
great.
both pretty sort of average sizes. Okay.
And now watch. The only guy whose boots fit him are mine.
Well, no, you
It might have been mine. Thinking of that, you can have some of the spare ones we got.
yeah. Okay, I'm assuming you take it from the spare sets, right? Okay, so you go back and bring back.
And by the way, even just to be cool, and because they are Poles, I'm going to give them a canteen of water for their trouble too.
Okay, so
So let me stand by 1 sec. Let me get to the spoils of war list, so I get this stuff off while I'm still thinking about it.
Where's the civilian SKS rifle? Is that on the spoils of war? Or is that in a vehicle?
No, it's on the
I think it's on the M998.
on the 998. Yes, it
right.
is.
So Chris, go and take off that. How much ammo's with it?
Hold on, I'll find out. Character sheet.
I wasn't aware there was a civilian model of SKS.
There is. It has a
Hi,
small
there is,
internal magazine, I think,
them.
if I remember correctly.
You want OPSKS severe hunting rifle, 2 10-round clips. So we're giving him that, are we?
Yep, and then just
And then we have those other SKSs we picked up off that Soviet Labor Party. And I'm looking for it. There we go. And so 3 10-round clips. So what I need to do is pull 5 rounds off of that.
just put -5 rounds next to it or something like that.
Oh, no problem. Working on it.
And then knock off 2 pairs of boots, and if you give them the canteen as well, knock that off as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Since he said one of us, one of our guys would be, staying there, I'll holding my M16A2 by the carry handle. I'll walk out into the clearing with my hands up and say, I'm the one who'll be staying here while he goes and retrieves the stuff. Just so they know that we're not trying to give them the runaround or anything.
Yeah.
And if Mac wants to maintain his hide position, go right ahead.
So sorry, Chris, are you big pest
So
about?
I'm trying to encourage the dog to come onto my lap so they can see what I'm doing, but she's not coming.
Okay, all right. I have everything. Oh, 2 pairs of boots. That's what
knock
I
off 2
forgot.
pairs, and if you give them a canteen, knock off a canteen as well. Okay.
Yep, did that already. Boots,
Right. And eventually,
got it all done.
Eventually, the man, when you come back with the stuff, the man breaks cover, and walks up there, with his he's still holding his rifle, but sort of pointing at the ground, and he comes to meet Sombolsky by the river, and he has a look at the boots. He seems quite pleased with those. Has a look at the rifle, and clearly he knows what he's doing with firearms. He checks it. He's absolutely fine with it. He looks at the clips. He checks the springs on the clips and stuff like this.
Well, these are just stripper clips. They
so
load
they're
like
stripper, of course, they're stripper clips.
yeah, they load just like an Enfield rifle where you just thumb them down into the magazine.
Yep. And then and pockets the rounds in them, and then when you give him the canteen,
And I'll tell him the water is clean. We filtered it.
he smiles and breaks into quite a genuine smile, and seems quite pleased by the dish of that. It's a pity. For a minute, I thought you were going to say it was full of vodka.
Sorry, sorry. It would cost you a lot more than one sheep for that. and I'll laugh with him about it. I mean, you know.
Do you want to trade for some vodka?
We got vodka.
You do? Yes, I do. Because big. Okay. Let's see. I tell you what. First off, I'm guessing you live around here. Have you noticed any Soviets or Reds through here?
Not in recent days, but then where we live, they don't tend to come near us.
Okay, Zerwoni, that's right. I knew I had that word looked up somewhere. Okay, all right then. I tell you what, tomorrow morning, we're getting ready to travel outside of this area. We're going to try and get a little bit safer ourselves. But tomorrow morning, you know the road that is right over there? You know, and I'll point somewhat to the east, because I believe the road runs due south from where we are on the travel
Are
map.
you camped by the park ranger cabin?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's where we are. If you will come there tomorrow morning at first light, we'll trade. As a matter,
not so keen about getting that close to that many armed men.
okay. Well, I tell you what then.
How about if you
we can meet back here tomorrow at first. We'll meet back here tomorrow a couple of hours after first light. And so what do you want for your, well, what do you need for your vodka?
Well, I've got 3-litre bottles of vodka I can trade you.
Mm-hmm.
So more ammunition for the SKS, or more ammunition if you've got it for this rifle. He says, pointed to his Mosin.
How about 40 rounds for the Mosin?
40 rounds for 3 litres of vodka.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that. Definitely.
All right. And
the reason he seems quite pleased by that.
And the reason why is this way we don't have to take that partial belt apart. You know, we still have 2 100-pound belts. I can just hand him the 40 round belt and be done with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless anyone's trying to do some kind of double cross, Matt keeps measuring out distances to various people, so I'm wondering if he's about to double cross and shoot someone.
No, this is the situation where it's like, glad you saw reason, and then Max stands up like from like 5 feet away behind him with his ghillie suit.
You know, and then I'll look at the guy and go, trust but verify.
Yeah. In all seriousness, Dro and Mac actually. Dro, give me a recon check.
Holy crap, my character did what he was designed to do.
Yeah, it happens occasionally. Sorry, is recon stealth, isn't it? Yes, recon.
Yes. No.
Right, he appears to be aware of Dro. Mac, are you just
really hiding? To be fair,
no, you're not. Clearly, with that role, you're definitely not trying to hide. Mac, are you just when this sort of negotiations concluded and the trade's finished and so on, are you just getting up and walking out to freak him out, or are you going to withdraw quietly and stay unseen?
Now I'll stand up and start walking back across the river
Okay.
towards the group.
You see a slight look of alarm in the man's face, and a sort of he gives Mac a bit of a nod of professional, a sort of nod at the professional pride type thing. Those you do see an absolute note of terror on the look of the teenager.
Okay. And I'm going to look over at the teenager and go, boy, you would do a lot better if you learned to stay still. Just stay calm. Remember that you have cover and stay still. If you keep trying to look around corners, one of these days the cat is going to swat the mouse.
The older man grins and with a little half laugh says, "I've been telling him that. Maybe he'll listen this time."
We all chuckle at this.
Right.
I'll walk.
I can't understand a word of what's happening, so
Laughing
I'll
at
just...
teenager's expense.
Yep, you bet. Oh, hey.
I'll walk over to him and hand him a bullet.
The kid.
Yep.
So obviously a 7.62 round.
Yeah, but understand that your round doesn't fit his rifle.
No. But no, it's a symbolic that could
was your round.
Yeah. Like it.
Yeah, nice touch.
Okay. Right. And then you I'm assuming go back to your camp.
Then tomorrow morning, since we're planning on staying the whole day, then all we have to do is wait till dawn, saddle up, and then meet them by the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
And make the exchange. So it sort of folds into our tomorrow's travel.
Yep, certainly. Right. So let's shift back to the
question.
Go on.
Can I recover a point of stress because we had this decent interaction with the locals?
I don't know on the rules, but that sort of makes sense to me. So yeah, I think you can recover a point of stress for that. That does make a sort of sense. Right.
I'm just,
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Right. That was the first shift of that day. So second shift. What do people want to do for the second shift?
Well, for one thing, I'm going to go crap my lungs out because that was a little tense.
Well,
I'm gonna heal off that. That one damage that I've got. I'm gonna
rest up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll do the same thing, and I'll also tell Kowalski next time take somebody with you.
I'm going to have a crack at the 11-14. Try and get that up to 5. Might as well.
Okay. So this is vehicle maintenance. Okay. Yeah.
So
and incidentally, and Mac needs a little bit of sleep, and I'll give him another Polish lesson and explain what we did.
Well, Mac.
I just looked up, by the way. You've also got half of a mathematics textbook in Polish as well to work with.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.
If you remember that mathematics textbook, someone has been systematically ripping out page by page.
That was a waste of a good check. Look at that, 3 successes. That's pristine. That 11-14 now.
Put its value back up. Probably worth describing. That mathematics textbook is probably what would probably best described as a toilet book.
Yes,
as in the pages have been ripped out for use while you're in the toilet. Yep.
Still, nonetheless, something in Polish.
Yeah.
And there's look, there are word problems in Polish. It'll be fine. I don't even need the answers.
Yep. Okay. So sorry. So that's so for this.
And apparently, what happened was somebody was fresh out of books on tax law.
Yeah. Right. So for this second work shift of the day, I need to know what Mac's doing.
I'll be scouting out around.
Just sort of patrolling around the camp.
Well, I'll be going out farther than everybody else does,
And
since I can sneak around better than they can.
okay,
And I'll also be watching the distance as far as I can see with my scope out away from the woods as well. I'll go to the edges of the woods and look around too.
okay,
Make sure nothing's surrounding us.
okay. Give me a recon check, please.
With scouting.
Yes, please. Now, I'm trying to remember. You were in here.
2 successes.
You were in the woods here, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah, near Lipsnica, which is the town I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, was that 2 successes? Okay. Right. How far from the camp are you ranging?
I'm going to assume our camp is somewhere about the Y.
No,
in the woods.
It's slight. You've then gone off the road. Remember, we took a turning off it.
Oh, so that's actually that is the road going through.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're somewhere over.
Where I'm pinging, slightly to the west of that Y.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, so I will go to the north boundary. I'll go over to the east boundary, and then south on the east boundary, and then I'll come back like kind of a square, make a square out of it.
Okay.
And I'll look at, and when I'm on the east and north boundary, I'll go obviously to the edge to scope out.
Yep. The one bit of intel you pick up then, while you're here, right on the sort of the eastern boundary, this village over here, so that's just over 1 kilometre away, you see some movement at one point in there, and sorry, movement of a vehicle. You see a truck at one point, and then you see movement of several armed men, look to be in Soviet uniform, Soviet camouflage, and then at one point you hear the slightly muffled shot of a pistol. At one point.
All right.
But that's
Russians just being Russians.
Yeah. The sound. I mean, I think you can just about hear a pistol shot at 1 kilometre away with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With 2 successes, but it wouldn't
with
travel far enough back to the camp.
Gotcha.
And then after a while, you then see, as you're staying to watch, you see it's actually 2 trucks and a UAZ head south, and then branch off on this road coming here.
They take the western branch.
Yes, they do, and they're going down here. So, but your line of sight starts to be blocked by the remains of these houses here and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
And
that's fine.
Yeah. Sorry. Actually, and more importantly, these woods.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And after I complete, I'll go back to camp and I'll inform Kowalski of what I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Right. The last thing that happens in that day is sort of you got a bit of a rest shift where some the sheep that you brought back to help out. Are you sharing this with the merchants as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They produce some vegetables to go with it, and set about butchering it and cooking it all for everyone. And a nice fairly nutritious lamb stew is produced, which is really quite tasty. But ultimately, there's no rations used for that day by you guys. Though, just to bear in mind, you've got quite a bit of fresher food, so that will start to go off eventually. But yeah, you're ending up sat sort of as it's getting on for late afternoon, early evening. You sat around and you finished all your work periods. You're in sort of the bit of that sort of downtime period where you're not sleeping, and you end up chatting to sorry, hang on a sec. It is that brother, isn't it? Oh, where's that gone? Yeah, so let's look at this. So that's the Boxar family. You end up chatting to Andres, the middle one of the three brothers, and he almost unprompted, because you haven't really asked many questions about it, but he almost sort of, without any prompting, starts to tell you about Krakow. And he says, one of the things you need to understand about Krakow is that it's declared itself a free city. The war doesn't exist there, but that doesn't mean it's completely safe, and it doesn't mean that there aren't prices to be paid for things. Understand that there are essentially two cities in Krakow. There's a central city, which is the old city, where and as he's telling you, Cymbalski will know a lot of this, but years ago they took down all the city walls of the old city, most of it, and they turned it into sort of nice ring of park around the centre of the city. But the general who's in charge, he's organised he organised his troops, and one of his brothers interrupts. And Andres is the one who speaks the best English, so this is a conversation taking place in English. But what Yasak, who speaks some English, says, it's not clear who's in charge. There's a council, there's the general, and then Andres says, no, it's clear the general's in charge. But then Andres goes, so the general, he says, giving a sort of a look to Yasak of, I'm telling a story, shut up. He organised his men, and they sort of conscripted workforce, and they've built a stone wall. They've rebuilt the stone wall. There's a massive rampart all around the old city, and they've pulled down houses on the outside to clear a field of fire, and it's and to add to the building materials to build the walls. They've used rubble and so on to build it, and so that's the central city. And that, I'll come to it, but that's there's a price to get in there. And then there's the rest of the city, which is outside of there, and that there are some areas that have militias that control it, and they're better, but there's other areas that are very lawless and out of control, and we have to be careful in lots of areas where we patrol, where we come through. If we stick to the main roads, there's normally there's city guards patrolling there, making sure that the scavengers don't try and come and attack our trucks and rob us. Because understand, there are thousands of scavengers around the city. Some of them are trying to get jobs as what is called robotniki, who are sort of. It's where the word robot comes from. They are they are workers who do whatever it takes to get and do exactly as they're told to get fed. And
so they're fed and protected.
They're
but
not protected.
They have to do every.
They're not protected. So there are, well, that's not true. There are some, if you're lucky and they like you, then you can get a job on one of the farms or one of the other work parties where you get you don't just get fed, you also get somewhere to live. But it's not luxury at all. And you're not paid at all. Your payment is your place to sleep and your food. But there are also others who are just paid on the day, and if they do a day's work, they get fed a meal, and they're doing more clearing of rubble, trying to clear bits of the city and so on. But the city is quite. There's a lot of damage that's being repaired, and rubble is being cleared. And as I say, there are some areas that weren't too affected, and maybe they've got strong militias, and they keep the scavengers out. But if you wander around outside the central city, particularly at night, and particularly in a small group, they may come and try and attack you, even if you're heavily armed. They'll work on that. If there's 20 of them and 3 of you, you might shoot half of them, but the rest will get you, and they'll be able to rob you and get something to maybe make their lives better. People are that desperate. I want you to understand just how desperate people are. I don't know what you've seen, where you've been, but I've never seen desperation like some of the scavengers round Krakow.
Well, it's the kind of thing that happens when you offer hope, and they don't think they have any other choice.
Well, you are lucky because you have hope, or more importantly, what you have is things of value, because what you will need to do when you get there, and as we get close to the gate, we will have to introduce you to the whoever the officer in charge of the day is, and we will then split. We are citizens, so we can enter, but you will need to buy your citizenship. And what you will need to buy, and he pulls something out from around his neck, is one of these. Does that come up? Yeah.
Yep, it did.
And so it's an ID tag. Sorry, it's a metal disc with a hole punched in the top, and then it's got fairly crudely stamped, essentially his name, what's clearly a date of birth, and an ID number. Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, we all have these, and you will need to buy these each. Every one of you, if you wish to enter, you'll have to buy these. And the truck there that you've captured, that will be a good start to buy. Underestimate how expensive this will be, but within the there is very little, almost no crime within the city. There's a bit of people get drunk and people maybe have fights, but anyone who is shooting anyone else, or anyone who is bringing the war, fighting over the war, or anyone who is stealing, no, maybe there's a little bit of petty theft goes on, but it's a lot safer than outside. But if you if they decide that you are a problem, then you will be thrown out and your ID will be taken away from you. Yeah, and when you buy your ID, they will your citizenship. Then you will have to. Your name will go in a ledger. You will have to sign for it, and if ever they think that you're maybe using someone else's, you will be taken to the castle, the Wawel Castle, where they keep the ledgers of who has membership, who has citizenship, and if you have stolen someone else's citizenship, then they will execute you. That is the worst crime in the city, is to steal someone else's ID tag. And it happens occasionally. People are stupid. They get attacked outside of the city and robbed, and someone comes in and tries to pretend that they're someone else, and I'm sure there are some who get away with it. But if it is discovered and you have an ID tag that says you are 22 and you are 50, then they will figure that out, and then you will have to do your signature, and if it's not the same, then bang, bullet straight between the head. Well, actually, no, not that. Public execution. Hanging is normally, and every so often, if they wish to make an example, people are hung, and there is a by the front gate. They're left hanging by the front gate for a few days until they start to swell a bit. So this is what the city is like. There is it is a good place as long as you can pay. And we as merchants, we will pay taxes every time we enter. We will have to pay our way, and that is how the city supports itself. There's a lot of taxing when you enter the city. You made a joke, Cymbalski, earlier on about needing a tax book for toilet book. Well, there is a lot of taxing in Krakow these days. That is how they have hundreds of soldiers protecting the city. Somehow they have to be paid for and fed. But there are lots of merchants, and I do not know what you wish to do once you get to the city, but there are opportunities for you to make a living. There are we tend to go on safer routes where our own guards are enough, but there are others who take more risky routes, and they may be looking for a well-armed group of guards such as yourselves.
Okay.
And also, you will need somewhere to stay when you get into the city, and if you wish, I can introduce you to a friend of my aunt's who will probably have enough space that you can secure both yourselves and your vehicles.
When you talk about the entry fee to buy citizenship, and you talk about the truck being a good start, the Tatra we have here. I don't know if it's a Tatra or a Gaz.
I think it's a Gaz. I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you talk about the Gaz we have here, you say it would be a good start. Are you speaking in terms of our whole group, or are you speaking in terms of just one of us? Or are you speaking
for your group.
in terms
For your group.
And are you speaking in terms of the whole load the truck is carrying, or just the truck itself?
Just the truck. But there is an army there, so weapons, ammunition. I saw you pick up certainly one machine gun from the Soviet soldiers you killed.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good thing to put into the trade. Yeah.
Okay.
Food. They have the council has organised a number of. I talked about these Robotniki people who they sort of work to be fed. Some of them, as I said, clear land, clear rubble. Others are farming in parks. Others, I know of at least 2 farms outside of the city where they have a number of Robotniki living there with guards, and that is said to be the best jobs to get, because you have much more freedom, and the guards are more there to protect you rather than ensure you stay, because it is a better life. But they have at least 2 farms outside the city where they have gone and taken over some large farm somewhere, and I don't know what they're raising. I know in one they have some cattle and bring milk in every day from the farm.
Okay.
So yes, so there are
Still doesn't
lots.
sound like enough.
Sorry.
Still doesn't sound like enough.
Oh
Okay.
no. But there are
Yeah,
and
they're
then
doing their best.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then there are other. There is never enough food because of the amount of scavengers around. But there are there are various people, mainly priests and nuns, who arrange for some feeding of the poor outside, of the starving, and we do our part. He glances at his father. Bear in mind he's speaking English the whole time, and says quietly, my father does not quite agree, but when we have spare, we donate to the church, and we help feed a few people, and we do our part.
Well, if everyone acts like bandits, no one will survive.
We have to start
yes,
to try
I
and
understand.
rebuild. Yes, you are. Yes.
Yep.
And we have to try and rebuild Poland. Poland without the Americans and the British and the Russians and the yes. Not that there's anything wrong with the people I served with, but let us be honest. Let us be honest with ourselves. Poland is better without invaders in it. everyone needs to go home and start digging themselves out of the rubble, as opposed to digging themselves out of the rubble using Polish goods and Polish food and Polish people.
I'll drink to that. If we can get home.
And I am willing to do everything I can to help you. You have done everything you can to help me.
Well, at the worst, you come to Krakow, you trade a bit, you maybe buy citizenship, you maybe decide not to go into the centre, but it's for you to decide. But at least you trade a bit, and then some of what you have brought profits the city, and it gets a little bit better. But we shall see.
That is all we can do. And the heck with it. There are a few less, and there are a few less Soviets in the. There are a few less Zervoni in the area too.
And then, if you wanted, there are bars in the centre of the city, in this, and pretty well everything you can wish for is available for purchase.
Certainly. Where there are people, there will be people getting drunk, and where there are people getting drunk, there will be people trying to find women and everything else. It's the way people are.
But yes, it is a harsh life for some, but bear in mind any woman working in the old town, the central city, she has earned her she's paid for her citizenship. So
well, and I have not become so desperate as to become a rapist.
Well, yes. Do you want? Is there anything else you want to talk to him about Krakow about?
I think I've got a good.
No.
I think I've got a good hang on it.
That's good. Give us a nice bit of background. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I kind of need to take off.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
On a Russian, I looked up on a Russian roadmap. We're almost due north of Krakow.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm conscious we're over time, so should we finish it there and say
I think that's a good.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Thanks for anyone watching, and I believe the phrase is like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and have managed to watch for the whole 2 hours, nearly 8 minutes of recording, and